number 13. So today is actual Easter Sunday. It's supposed to be celebrated, and it is being celebrated in most of the countries in Europe. But today my mood is not really of a celebration, but work. Since so on one hand it feels maybe strange to some people, might feel strange. This day that is supposed to be celebrated, I'm using for work. But the work that I'm doing is upgrading, tidying, cleaning the space in balcony where our dream garden should be. Me and my partner who decided to grow lots of plants and flowers and stuff. So I have this vision of this green flower, little kind of bushes, and maybe little trees, flowers, herbs and stuff growing in the balcony. When you come in, and it looks like it's part of outdoors, but it's very kind of like nicely organized, but also not like sterile and overgrown, I guess is the word, where you can see it's like lots of greenery and plants which are a bit wild, but also they are a bit looked after too, you know, organized in a nice way. Yeah, I feel positive. Generally I feel quite negative. I know to say that is probably not a very popular thing to do. Overall, I often feel negative many times. I think it's kind of like a habit more than the actual circumstances, because you know, the way you look at things is really dependent on how are you programmed to look at things. So being raised in an environment that I was raised, I mean, I don't know how much history you know about Eastern European countries, but Lithuania, for example, was part of Soviet Union. So when I was little, we were still part of Soviet Union, and things were tough. So for my parents' generation and for my grandparents' generation, things were very kind of limited, and you know, like choice was not very great, and therefore they kind of trained themselves not to expect too much and kind of limited themselves with the things that can happen to them, or if they would expect something to happen, mainly it would be something not very good. So you know, when you are raised in that type of environment, you yourself adapt that kind of attitude, and it is not by choice, but it is by being in that environment. Because as a child, you just, you know, you don't really look critically at what your parents or teachers or adults are saying. Maybe some of you do, maybe some of us do, but generally you think anything that adult person says is true, and then you kind of subconsciously, even if you don't like that true, you adapt that. So I think that happened to me, and therefore I often catch myself thinking negatively. It's not like I'm an enemy of thinking negatively, because I feel like it's a real, and I understand from my experience, it's a real nonsense to say, oh my god, no matter what happens, you cannot think negatively. Because to be honest, bad things sometimes happens, you know, sometimes you don't feel well, and you cannot really be thinking positively all the time. And then if you feel negatively, that means there is something that is going on, that you either expect something not good to happen, or maybe there is something that makes you feel not very good. So, you know, negative thinking, it says something about something that is going on. So to apply that all on myself, it's not a good idea for me to say, well, I'm thinking negatively, but actually I'm positive everything's gonna be all right. So in that case, I feel it is better to admit that I'm thinking negatively, and then maybe look, is it really realistic to think negatively, and accept the fact that good things can happen, you know, good things can happen too. I think one of the biggest realization that happened to me late last year, it was about the time where I met my partner. It was, before that, it was like, okay, expecting bad things, and kind of like feeling this kind of like bracing yourself type of state. And then at one point I realized that expecting negative things is unrealistic, because when you think about it, you basically discriminate against positive things. If you say that unexpected things can happen, that means as unexpected negative things can happen, so can positive things happen. So equally, unexpected negative things can happen and unexpected positive things can happen. So I guess when I am in a state of expecting something or not knowing what to expect, it is probably healthier, at least for the time while you don't know what's going on, at least for the time while I don't know what's going on, to say, okay, you know what, bad things can happen, but I guess also good things can happen. Or sometimes, some bad things can happen and some good things happen. And again, there is a whole discussion about, what is good, what is bad, depends on how you look at it. But, sometimes it's just, some things is just hard to be seen as good. And then some things are just hard to be seen as bad. So yeah, so today I feel positive. And for me, this is, I don't want to say rare, but probably is not that super common. I wish I could say I'm a super positive person, but I'm not really super positive person. I say I am more expecting things to work out at the end type of person. So I would be in a state of, okay, it could be that the bad things can happen, but I guess at the end of the day something will work out. So I don't know, maybe it is positive. Well, okay, it's for you to decide. So yeah, today I feel positive, and I would say my mood is 9.5 out of 10. The only reason why I'm not giving myself extra half, is there any reason why I'm not giving myself extra half? Actually, I don't know. I'm not giving myself the extra half because even though I'm positive, maybe there is still a bit of negativity. I'm thinking that because I'm working, we are working, my partner doing lots of things, and especially him, and also my brother had to climb down the fire escape ladder to retrieve old outdoor rug. So that was one of the parkour experience, which was fun to observe, short lasting, but once in a while type of experience. This garden balcony thing we've been working on for a while, and I think we will be working on for a while, and it's something that gives me lots of hope and enjoyment and platform to bring a vision down to the earth, the vision of kind of like earthly lush paradise. That's the update for today. I guess I'm gonna cut out lots of things because it's very long. 12 minutes usually takes 5. I film it and it looks like it's sometimes 5, but then when I start cutting it, I see actually it's been 10 minutes. And then I don't want to keep it too long, so I cut it out. So I hope you're having a good Sunday, whether you're celebrating or you're not celebrating, and I wish you to have a satisfying Sunday, whatever satisfying Sunday means to you. Okay, bye. I'll see you tomorrow.